president of Patrick Henry Community College, who's with us here today and also serves on our foundation board. And Dr. Winchett, would you stand and let everybody say hello to you? And I may have your indulgence, would all the Presidential Student Leadership Cabinet members, present and past, please stand. All Presidential Student Leadership Cabinet members, please stand. Donors, the magic of what you've invested in our students, we really cannot put into words. Every scholarship luncheon, I tell the same little story of a photograph that I have to this day that was given to me when I received my first scholarship at Troy State University in the 70s. It was a little photograph of a woman who had been a teacher, an English teacher. She had never married, she had never had any children, and she left a very significant estate for someone who probably made every month what most people would spend on their cable bill. She was very frugal, and she wanted to leave her estate to help fund the next English teacher. And so she made an investment in me. And I've always been grateful. And some days when I really didn't want to go to class, or I had more papers to write than I could ever imagine how I was going to write, and I worked full time, and I did not have any clue how I was going to go to class, go to work, and make it all work. It was that little photograph that was just a little nudge to me that reminded me that she worked her entire career and she invested in me. She was investing in me and making it possible for me to become an English teacher like she was, and I've never forgotten it. And in part of that was the faculty that in my college had invested themselves, both as a community college graduate and beyond. And so I would like to ask our teaching faculty, those of it, and that would include our administrators because they teach, our teaching faculty as well as our retired faculty. If you will stand and let all of us thank you for what you do in the classroom, because that's the magic of all of this. It gives me a great privilege today to invite our student speakers here. Tyler Allen is our first speaker, and he is a Patrick Henry Scholar and the recipient of the FLO's Memorial Endowment Scholarship. He is also a recipient of the John and Sally Hanbury Vice Presidential Scholarship through the Foundation. And he is a member of the Presidential Student Leadership Cabinet. He's a 2014 honor graduate from Marksville High School. And while he was in school there, he was a member of the National Honor Society, the National Technical Honor Society, National Beta Club, National Society of High School Scholars. He ran cross country, was in the marching band, and was a Big M Scholastic Award recipient from 5th through the 12th grade. After he completes his studies here at Patrick Henry Community College, he plans to enroll in Old Dominion University to study mechanical engineering with a concentration in motorsports and a minor in business administration. And Tyler, I'm dressed for race weekend just for you. Let's go racing and welcome Tyler Allen.
Hello, everybody. That was actually an old report that Dr. Galvin gave to y'all. I'm actually planning on going to Roanoke College to study business administration instead. I saw that change. But I'm gonna tell you. Right? But I'm going to tell you why I changed my mind. Ladies and gentlemen, picture this. It's May 25th. All my fellow graduates and I were sitting along the stage just waiting to turn our tassels to change our lives. As I walked off the stage, as we proceeded into our processional, one of my classmates and I, we asked each other, what now? Because we were for 12 long years, we've been so used to being guided by a teacher's direction. Like, you should go this way in the hallway, you should go that way in the hallway, what classes you need to take, and so on. But at that moment, I started thinking, what now? And right now, I'm actually living in the what now. And usually I just sit and I just think, man, it's been 12 long years. What am I going to do? And I still contemplate that thought every now and then. And I guess it still hasn't really quite sinking in yet that I'm really in the what now. But what I mean by the what now is virtually it's the unknown of the known. Like, we know what we want to do. We know how we want to design our future. But we're not omnipotent. We're not all-knowing. We don't know what our future is going to behold for us. But it's our job right now to design our route to where we can get to that future. So, my story as far as my major goes. Okay, I started for months, for years actually, contemplating mechanical engineering because I'm really a big car guy, and I just want to, know what makes a car go fast, what makes it so powerful, what entices the buyer and the driver. But then one day I started thinking, I'm not really that great at math and science at all. So it wouldn't really exploit my strong suits like I really wanted to. Like, I find myself to be a people person every now and then. I find myself to be a critical thinker as well as a good problem solver. And, understanding people and try to, humble myself to that level. So in that way I can walk their shoes, see how they feel, and be able to be conditioned if I were to ever get into that situation, because that's helped me with my future. And so one day I was sitting in class and I was watching the movie Jobs. We were all watching the movie Jobs in our computer class. It's the movie about Steve Jobs, actually, the picture. And his passion, his drive, it just inspired me, and it just let me know, hey, this is something I kind of want to do. Be in position to actually bring the behind-the-scenes people out into the world and show the world what we have, like this iPhone, for example. He had he only had, maybe 3, 4, 5 people he was working with in the garage in, Toledo, California. And it was like a secretive kind of thing. Like, the world didn't know what was coming. So what he wanted to do is he wanted to bring that technology, those ideas that those people held, out to the public to where the world will know what's going on, the next innovative feature of life. And so when it comes to racing, people believe that racing is just a lot of left turning for 500, 600 laps and hours on end. But really, there's more to it. There's a lot of physics involved, a lot of, believe it or not, it's a lot of health and sciences with human fitness involved as well. Because the G-forces are so powerful, it's like just encapsulated in the car. And you're also experiencing high heat factor. So I just want everybody to understand that NASCAR or IndyCar is way more than just turning left all day. Because it sort of just behooves me when I hear all it is left turning. What's so interesting about it? So, and then I also have this secret passion of mine to actually be a race car driver too. But that's just along down the road. So after watching the movie Jobs, I decided I wanted to pursue business administration. I haven't quite decided on the concentration yet, but I'm thinking of maybe marketing, so that way I can be able to show the world what NASCAR is all about. And that's what brings me here today. PHCC, why I chose it in particular, was for what it stood for. The affordability of it, like I think the scholarship count is like maybe 80 scholarships or so, and then of course you have a plethora of donors that are willing to give out their money just so we can go further, just so us families can go further, and as well as the convenience of home. I don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars for my first 2 years of college, paying room, board, tuition, and so on. And the small class sizes here is reminiscent sort of high school, where you get that tight-knit relationship with the student and professor to where you can actually get that one-on-one help virtually anytime you need it, as opposed to being just a number at Virginia Tech or UVA where you can't really get that one-on-one help with that professor because he has so many shitloads of people to deal with. And so that's why I chose PH in particular, because it really wants to, make the community aware that you can get a quality, big-name school education here in a small little town of Martinsville. And so there's also, I want to bring to attention the big misconception of community colleges. Apparently, community colleges have been known for, how should I say, easy work. If that were the case, then we would have higher graduation rates here. People wouldn't be failing their classes and spending extra time here. Community college, the first 2 years here at a community college is exactly the same as the first 2 years at a big name school. People at home, make sure you know that as well. It's the same thing. The only difference is, for crying out loud, the only difference is just different names of classes. Like instead, accounting 211 here is probably science of accounting, so-and-so, and OU or whatever. But, and so it's really, I'm giving a lot of work to keep me busy and keep me stressed at night, pulling in late night hours, doing homework as I would if I were at my first 2 years at Old Dominion or UVA or whatever. And then also, not to brag or anything, but I graduated high school with actually a 4.0 GPA. So I guess all of you are asking, why am I here? Well, the affordability, as well as the small, tight-knit classes. And then as I transfer into Roanoke College, I'll be able to continue on the legacy that PH holds here, because Roanoke College is also very accommodative when it comes to, private schools. Private schools, they don't really have that many students. They're trying to bring in the masses just as Virginia Tech would, so then that way they can get their enrollment up. And in order to do so, they have financial aid that can support you when you need it most. You can't really afford Virginia Tech. Sorry, it's been a little while since I spoke in front of people. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is PH just holds a legacy that can really, empower someone's future. And as long as you zero in on that legacy, they can actually push. Look at that banner right there. PHCC 50 years, 1962 to 2012. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. As long as we keep that in mind, our future will be something else, everybody. We could be the next big name CEO of Apple. Because as we all know, the iPhone 6 isn't really doing that great. So. You could be the next CFO of a Fortune 500 company. You could change the lives of individuals elsewhere and actually be the pioneer to bring them into the next generation and keep this world going at the rate that it's going. So as long as my plan with PH is to just continue on the legacy that it holds here. So then that way I can really get that quality education that I always desire, and continue it on to where it could best suit me with my career path. One day, ever since a kid, I've been dreaming of being a race car driver. In reality, though, racing can be very, very expensive. So with the business administration plan, I plan to maybe get my foot in the door and market racing and be able to maybe get into the driver's seat someday, maybe as a marketing plan or something, and be able to actually afford all that. But you cannot do those sort of career paths without a quality foundation, a quality education that you can build here at PHCC or any other accredited 4-year institute. And so with PH, I just want to succeed. I just want to, have the yesterday good, but perfect my yesterday with today, so in that way I can boost the tomorrow. With that being said, I thank you.
Regardless of where you go, what you do, you're very hopeful for us of the future. So we have a lot of confidence in all the good things that you're going to do, and the goal that Patrick Henry Community College will play a part in that. And now I'd like to introduce you to Chloe Mayhew. Chloe lives in Ridgeway. and she spent her entire life there. She graduated from Magna Vista in 2010 and then went on to Patrick Henry Community College, where she also graduated with General Studies in 2012, and she too was a Patrick Henry Scholar. She most recently graduated with her bachelor's degree in communication studies at Avery University, and she's now working on her master's degree in strategic communications at Liberty University. Her present position, she now serves as the group sales coordinator for the Marksville-Henry County Economic Development Corporation's Division of Tourism. So let's give Chloe a very warm welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Godwin. Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here to speak to you all today. Like Dr. Godwin said, my name is Chloe Mayhew, and I'm very thankful and proud to say that I'm a PHCC alumna, class of 2012. Very excited about that. In my 2 years at PH, as Dr. Godwin mentioned, I was a Patrick Henry Scholar recipient, and for that, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to the donors who so graciously gave to the Patrick Henry Community College Foundation to allow people like me to start off our educational journeys debt-free. I'm extremely thankful for that. Thank you to the foundation and the foundation board members for recognizing the value of good education and the value of investing in students' futures. And thank you to Dr. Godwin and the entire and all the rest of the PHCC administration, faculty, and staff for creating an environment where students are not just a number, but a person who is cared about and whose future is believed to be bright and important. When I graduated from PH in May 2012, I was extremely sad to be leaving a place that I had called home for the previous 2 years. In my time here, I was able to meet and get to know amazing, wonderful people, several of whom are in the room right now. So while I was sad at leaving PH, I was excited to go into my first class at Avery University fully prepared for the next 2 years. In my time at PH, I was challenged academically by my wonderful professors, some of whom I saw as you were coming in the room, to not just to take things at face value, to not just believe what you're told, but to ask questions, to dig deeper. I was taught to manage my time wisely. For those of you students out there, I was taught that it's really not a great idea to start studying for something the night before. I've been there. And in my time at PH, the most important thing is I really began to grow up, to see the world from an adult perspective rather than the child's perspective that I was used to. My professors treated me like a valued member of society, an adult with whom they could hold conversations, not like just some 18-year-old kid. And that's something that I truly appreciate to this day. It was during these 2 years that I fell in love with learning, and I resolved that I would never stop learning through the rest of my life. I would never stop seeking education for myself. Henry Ford said, anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. Well, with that being said, I choose to stay young for the rest of my life. And I challenge that you all make that decision as well. So, as Dr. Godwin mentioned, I was born and raised in Martinsville-Henry County. I'm very proud and very thankful to say that as well. This is home to me, and my time at PH really reinforced that feeling of home and community. While growing up, quite honestly, I had no choice but to live here. But when it came time to choose colleges, I had a choice to make. I could pack up, leave my home, go off to some large university somewhere, or I could choose to stay home and choose the close-knit community of Patrick Henry. Well, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I made the right decision in choosing PH. I love the fact that PH is such a great community in and of itself, but also that PH supports the local community. Now, how many colleges or universities can you say you can go to a local baseball game and sit beside the president? At PH you can, and I've done it. In fact, that's where I met Dr. Godwin for the first time. Thank you, Gary and Susan. That sense of community and the emphasis on supporting the local community really shows students that there are plenty of things to do in Martinsville-Henry County. And that's important, and that it is important to get involved in your local community. And that was a huge factor in my choosing to continue my education after PH at Avery University. Now, 4 years after I began here at PH, I've completed my associate's degree from here, my bachelor's degree from Avery, and I'm working on my master's degree. I'm so thankful to be able to say that I never left this area. throughout that entire time. Throughout my time at PH and ABRIC, I lived at home. I worked at the Smith River Sports Complex for almost 5 years through that. And now I still live in Henry County, and I work for our local tourism office. So, in closing, I want to speak specifically to the students. So, my challenge to you, look around here before you leave today, and I know that pretty much everyone has spoken and said the same thing, but when you see a donor, make sure to tell them thank you, whether they are specifically for your scholarship or not. It is through their support that your education can be made possible, that my education was made possible. Do not take opportunities like this luncheon for granted. Make sure to spend some time with people who gave because they believed in your education, believed in this college because they believed in you. I know that for me, becoming a donor to the Patrick Henry Community College Foundation is something that I'm very excited about being part of in the future, and I really truly hope that is your goal as well. So, once again, thank you all so much for having me here with you all today.
Hard to follow two acts like that. Very well. Tyler, Chloe, thank you very much. I'm Gary Collins, and I'm currently the chairman of the foundation at Patrick Henry Community College. And what a great place. I can't thank you enough for coming today. And there's not a long speech, so this is the closing, so it'll be easy for you. First of all, we want to thank Whitney and Jay Ingstrom and Quality Catering for the meal and service today. Great job, folks. Thank you. But as we said, as Tyler mentioned, we've been here 52 years now. This college will be here another 50 years. This college has generated over 60,000 attendees. We've generated over 30,000 graduates over the last 52 years. So hopefully we'll turn that into another number of 120,000 attendees. Patrick Henry's growing, Patrick Henry's alive, and people realize that now. But none of this would have been possible without the first Patrick Henry Scholarship Foundation. And today we're blessed and honored to have Irving Groves. And Irving, please stand up. Irving and a group of men back then saw the vision of Patrick Henry Community College. He saw a vision for the students to come out here, a vision for people to be able to attend that couldn't afford it. We are here today because of Irving Groves and this group of men, the donors and the foundations, and we thank you. Okay, now for your homework. On your tags, it's photo op time. And we ask you, it'll be really quick, and we'll go through this pretty fast. If you have a blue dot on your tag, that's for the board members and scholars. The blue dot people go to this corner. Okay? Next, you have a green dot on your coat, on your badge. As donor or no students, green dot goes in that corner. Next, you have a yellow dot. That's students and no donors. Yellow dots go over here. Next, we have pink, and the students and the donors. That's if your donor and the students are here, will be over in this corner. And we promise that we'll go very quickly through that. But again, I want to thank everybody for coming out today. This is a testament to Patrick Henry Community College for those attending. On behalf of our foundation and our board of directors, we want to thank you. We've got a great product here. The community needs to learn about this product. There is somebody that you know out in that community who have never been to this campus. And there are actually people in Martinsville, Henry County who have never been here, over here. We need to get the word out that Patrick Community College is alive and well, and we can do that through y'all. Again, thank y'all for coming, and please go to your corners.